Hello everyone, my name is Yolanda and I'm from New York. I want to tell you my story. But before I proceed, please like this video and subscribe to our channel. You know, life's a lot easier for you when you're pretty. You get all the attention, guys let you jump queues, even the police let you off easily when they're catching you speeding. Oh, I'm not talking about me by the way, although I wish I was. But the pretty one is actually my mom. My mom came from a poor family. Her father left them when she was just 5 years old. Her mother, that's my grandma, also neglected her. Grandma disappeared a lot for reasons I don't know. But life was easier for my mom because she was pretty. She got a lot of attention from almost everybody. Oftentimes, the attention was in the form of gifts, not to mention how she occasionally jumped the queue without anybody complaining. A lot of people just can't bring themselves to complain when they turn and see the stunning girl that just begged to jump the queue. Their neighbors in the Chicago projects where they lived were also fond of her, especially the next-door neighbor, which was a young Asian couple that didn't have kids of their own. One day, Mom knocked on their door. She was only 7 at the time. She was asking for food. Although the couple was surprised, they took her in and fed her. And like you'd expect, they asked about my grandma. They were shocked to learn that Grandma had been gone for almost a week and left her all alone. But Grandma was not pleased that Mom left her apartment and stayed at the couple's place in her absence. But Mom told her that she did that because she was hungry. I can't blame Mom for doing that. What do you expect a child that you left all alone for a week to do? Stay indoors and not eat? You'd have expected the couple to call child services after learning what was going on with Mom, but they chose not to. Maybe they wanted to hear my grandmother's side of the story before taking a step that could separate a mother from her child forever. One day, Grandma left Mom again. Weeks turned into months, and Grandma was nowhere to be found. Meanwhile, the Asian couple that took care of Mom won the jackpot prize in the lottery and became millionaires. They set up a restaurant like they always dreamed of and bought a property of their own so they could leave the projects. But they didn't leave immediately because of Mom. They couldn't just leave her alone to fend for herself. They planned on reporting it to child services and move on with their life, but they decided to stay a little longer, hoping Grandma not only return, but that she'd also have a valid explanation as to why she left her child alone for so long. But she never did. When the couple finally decided they couldn't stay in the projects anymore, they decided to take Mom with them. This was after Mom burst into tears when they told her that they were leaving and would hand her over to child services. Although Mom might have been too young to understand what child services meant, she couldn't bear being separated from them. When they realized that Mom was willing to go with them, they decided to legally adopt her. Moving in with the couple improved Mom's life drastically. The couple also sent her to school. After 4 years, Grandma came back into the picture. Apparently, she had been in prison. But why she never reached out to Mom? No one knew. Maybe she was scared that child services would take Mom away from her because she didn't have anyone she could ask to take care of her. The couple wouldn't give Mom up. After attempts to get Mom back, she was still unsuccessful. Mom could still visit Grandma during the weekends, but it was only if she wanted to. And from then on, life was smooth sailing for her. Mom later got married into the British royalty. She gave birth to 3 girls. I was the middle child, and guess what? I was also the ugliest. I took more after my dad. Dad wasn't exactly attractive, but he had a big heart. He was a duke of some sorts, although he was not in line to any throne. Nevertheless, he was very important and very rich too. I loved my dad, but I couldn't bring myself to love my mom. Mom knew that I didn't inherit her good looks. Although she didn't rub it in my face, she neglected me just like Grandma neglected her. Unlike me, my older sister took most of Mom's looks, and she gave a handful of it to my younger sister. Like I said, I looked more like my dad. He had a buck tooth and his skin was very pale. He was very happy. Sadly, I got his looks, but not his happy disposition. My older sister was very vain, and to make things worse, she also hated me. She never spoke to me, and I didn't bother speaking to her either. So you can imagine my joy when my younger sister came into the picture. I was so happy when my mom gave birth to her. I finally had a baby sister and we would be great friends. I also planned to teach her so much. Everyone ignored me except my dad and my mom's adoptive parents. I treated them as my own grandparents. While my dad got me everything, my grandparents took me anywhere that I wanted to go in the world. I got to watch Hamilton when tickets were supposedly sold out. I hung out with the Kardashians every summer. Ariana Grande was at my birthday party. I knew Disneyland like the back of my hand. I felt like I had everything a teenage girl could ever want, except love. Despite all that I enjoyed, I still felt alone and unloved. I studied a lot. I later got into Harvard, and after I finished studying there, I decided to focus all my attention on my career. I took up law, and I felt I was ready to start my own law firm after some internship. Things were hard in the beginning, but my grandparents helped me. I moved to California when they put me in charge of one of the restaurants they owned there. I became the classic trust fund baby, but I didn't like it. I wanted to feel something. I wanted to feel alive. I wanted to feel like I mattered. Then bad things started happening. First, Dad died in a horrible plane crash. I was devastated. My elder sister had a divorce with an Arabian prince that she married. She also lost her child in a car crash that shouldn't have happened. I tried my best to be there for her, and for the first time, we became friends. She thanked me for standing by her. She told me none of her friends even bothered. She called me her sister and told me she loved me. She also said she would be there for me from then on. Mom was placed on house arrest for smuggling. She already had everything, so I couldn't understand why she would even do such a thing. I also found out that she cheated on Dad way before his death. When I asked Mom why she did it, she said, "Which one, my love?" I was shocked. I guess living with Grandma, her biological mother, had taken a toll on her. She'd been forced to become a survivor. And although she was on house arrest, she accepted her situation. Things got worse. My little sister joined a cult. I was shocked to hear her say that the Earth is a box, that one day the aliens would emerge from the Earth's core and take us with them, and that we'll meet at the gates of Valhalla. I blamed Mom for it. I believed it was her fault for not guiding us properly. My little sister basically disappeared from the surface of the Earth. Meanwhile, a local teacher who's also an advocate was suing one of our smaller restaurants. The suit would kill the company, and being a lawyer, I was the only one my grandparents turned to for help. They didn't want it to become messy. I swung into action and set an appointment. When he arrived, I couldn't believe he was a teacher. His name was Tom, and he dressed like a surfer. He had chestnut eyes and a set of pearly white teeth. But this was business, and he wasn't smiling. I tried to break the ice. I told him I was happy that he honored our request. Tom didn't reply immediately. He stared at me intensely for a long, awkward minute before speaking. Tom said I was different from the others, so he would give me and the company I was representing a chance to make things right. I don't want to sound unprofessional, but it was difficult to listen to Tom. Whenever he spoke, I could hear birds singing. Tom and the people wanted two things. They wanted the company to stop dumping trash on the beach, and for the company to stop paying their workers peanuts. I let him know that I understood what he was saying and that I agreed with him. Tom also told me that bribing him or any one of them was off the table because they couldn't be bought. I told my grandparents everything. They said they were unaware of what was going on. We later found out that there was a widespread corruption in the company's management, so we fired them all and compensated the workers. My grandparents put me in charge to oversee things in that branch too for the meantime, so I organized a beach cleanup event. My elder sister was present for the event. Even my little sister showed up with her cult members to help out. She told me she was proud of me, and that Odin and the Norse gods would be too. Tom also came, and he was breathtaking. Tom was a true advocate and a great leader. He had the entire town join the cleaning efforts. I approached Tom and I told him I was glad that he came. But he just stared at me intensely and I couldn't understand why. He held my hands and my heart started beating fast. Tom finally spoke and said he was glad we listened to them. Then a thought came to mind, and I asked Tom if he had ever imagined what it would be to run his own company. His mood changed. I didn't know if I had said something that offended him. Then he let out a long laugh that made me blush. But he apologized. He said he was not cut out for the corporate world, and he enjoys teaching kids and being close to the people. He also told me that he meant no offense, and I let him know that none was taken. Then, out of nowhere, Tom told me that I was beautiful. I blurted that I wasn't. He was a little shocked, but he said it again that I was a beautiful woman. Then we just stared at each other for what seemed like forever. I didn't know what to say, but he finally spoke. He said he knew I was a very busy woman, but he ran a restaurant after school hours. He wanted me to come around Saturday and treat me to a meal and show me around the beautiful town. I was almost speechless. I asked him if he was asking me out on a date, and he said yes. He then smiled and walked away. For the first time, I realized how shallow I had been. I was beautiful on the inside and on the outside. And Tom saw that. I might not be prettier than my sister, but that doesn't matter anymore. What was important was my heart, the love that I could give, and all the love that I was prepared to receive. Please share this video with someone you know who will love my story. And don't forget to like and subscribe. Thanks for watching.